So the question I have for us today, or the question I have for you today is, who is the real you? The question that I asked earlier is, who is the real you? Now, what do I mean by that? Well, there's a portion of scripture that I'm going to refer to is from the book of Judges chapter 6, verses 11 to 14. And that portion of scripture describes a story about a man in the Bible called Gideon. And for this man, he had been through a lot in life, really not too palatable things. And God sent an angel. This angel appeared to him and he said, Gideon, this is what God has called you to do. This is what you're going to do. You're going to do these great things. You're going to help deliver your people. And he said all these things. And at some point, I'm just paraphrasing now, Gideon just put his hands up and said, you must be talking to the wrong person here. And the reason I believe he felt that way was because he just said, look, this is what God is saying, and this is what my life looks like. I think I'm going to opt out for what my life looks like, not really what God is saying. So God had to really convince him to really believe and switch his view about switch his view to who God said he really was. So what am I saying here? This man began to become the real him, if I can use that phrase. He became the real him. And when I say the real him, it's like I'm saying the real you. He became the real him, as I'm saying you can become the real you, when he began to align his views about himself, about his identity, with who God said that he actually was. So in summary, I'm just going to summarize this in one phrase. For us to be the real us, we must become God aware and less self-conscious or self-aware. Now, self-awareness is good. We should be self-aware, which means we're conscious of who we are and in our current circumstances or environment. So it's good to be self-aware. However, we can only become truly self-aware and live as the real us when we become God aware. So in summary, we become properly self-aware as we become God aware. The same way Gideon, in this context of scripture, became God aware and less self-aware, moving away from who he thought he was and allowing who God said he was to really shape his view about himself. So in summary, the real you will begin to come out, the real me will begin to come out when we become more God aware and just not self-aware.